Should we believe this about Mercedes Mone? Well, in this video, I'm going to tell you exactly what that is and why I don't think you should believe it. And I'm going to split the audience in this video. I already know I am with this opinion, so just sit back and let me know what you have to say down in the comments area below. Because Mercedes Mone, since joining AEW in March of 2024, well, she's split the audience, just like I'm about to. She's been very controversial. Some people think that she's overhyped. Some people think she's overrated. Some people think that she is underrated. Some people think that she's been screwed over by AEW booking. And let's be real, the booking of Mercedes Mone has not been the greatest. Now, look, there was high expectations when she joined this company in March of 2024 after a very notable run in New Japan, only to be sidelined for multiple months due to injury. This was obviously after she opted to leave WWE due to creative differences with Vince McMahon. Her and Naomi took their ball, went home, and were ultimately led to their departures. Now, Naomi's back in WWE, and Mercedes Mone even had talks with WWE multiple times before ultimately signing with AEW. And AEW brought in Mercedes Mone a few months before she was even medically cleared to wrestle. That was their first mistake. Their second mistake was trying to make her this very weird babyface character in which fans were not buying. This was at a time where she was still trying to get over her Mercedes Mone gimmick, which, yes, is very similar to Sasha Banks, but it's also different in the sense of she has a lot more creative control over her character, and therefore she was exploring that character as a babyface rather than a heel, which she had been doing in New Japan and had that character down strong. And so after multiple months of just doing these weird lackluster promos, she finally got to step into the ring and knock off ring rust, where she has continuously proven doubters wrong that she is in fact still one of the best wrestlers in the world. Now, to AEW's credit, they've also been able to turn her heel. Now, we did go through a rough patch where she was a very, very obnoxious and just awkward heel cutting promos that no one could resonate with. However, she's been able to turn that around. In recent months, she's also been able to have banger after banger after banger type matches across New Japan and AEW, with her upswing really rolling in strong. And I think that as we go into 2025, Mercedes Mone has a ton of momentum behind her, and I think the fans are starting to get behind her. And that leads us to today's video, because this belief that Mercedes Mone has been a bust for AEW is simply wrong. I don't care that she had a rough start to begin her AEW career. As I just listed, there was a lot of adversities in which Mercedes Mone had to go over to get to where she is at now. But if you look at the body of her work over the last 6 months, 8 months, 9 months, I would say that she has been able to come from the ashes and rise into a phoenix. I would say that she's been able to take the wrongs and the bad doings and turn things around, and being able to change things where it is obviously working. She has been able to get the fans behind her in her matches. She's gotten people to actually react the way that she wants to with her promos. She's started to dial in her promos where they're a little bit more relatable, where she can actually make storyline decisions and storyline driven actions and speaking where it actually makes sense, and it's just not like, what in the world are you talking about? Am I watching a promo from the Ultimate Warrior in 1989 type talent, right? So she's been able to really dial in the character. She's been able to dial in her matches. She's been able to dial in her promos to the point where now she is starting to draw money. And this comes at a time where AEW, yes, their interest is down. Yes, their attendance and television ratings and overall interest is just simply down, down, down. I get all that. But Mercedes Mone is one of their highest paid talents. Reportedly, she is the most highest paid talent of all female wrestlers in the marketplace these days. And when it comes to talent, it's very difficult to overcome booking. And her not having full creative control is not a necessarily a negative on her. I think it's more of a negative on the state of AEW and the state of Tony Khan's booking. And so she's had to overcome these things like a lot of other talent have been able to do so. And now that she's kind of got her head above water, now she's starting to make traction. Now she's starting to go forward instead of just taking on water, taking on water, taking on water. It's It's very difficult to make progress. It's very difficult to find success when you are continuously treading water and your main focus is just trying to keep your head above water instead of trying to focus on where you're going to be in 6 months, right? And I think Mercedes Mone has finally broken through that mark. I think it's finally a situation where Mercedes Mone feels comfortable in AEW and she feels comfortable in the ring and she feels comfortable doing promos and she feels comfortable being a heel. And I think comfort is something that is overlooked in wrestling. I think comfort is overlooked in all genres because in all jobs and all marketplaces, because while yes, being out of your comfort zone does push you to new areas, if you always stay out of your comfort zone, then you can never really find and dig into whatever you're trying to accomplish. Well, I think the fact that she's got her promos down and that she is a heel instead of a babyface, something in which she already found success as Mercedes Mone in New Japan as a heel, I think that has helped her. I also think the booking has helped her. I think her feud with Britt Baker over the summer really, really helped her because that was the clear defining shift, in my opinion, where they go, okay, Mercedes Mone is a true heel, Britt Baker is a true babyface, and let these two stars clash together. At that point, we were off to the races. Now, Britt Baker, she's fallen off a cliff since then, and Mercedes Mone, she's had a lot of good matches. It also helps that as of recently, you had Full Gear, and obviously you had the last World's End pay-per-view. Mercedes Moné's been feuding with Chris Statlander, and outside of a very weird and just kind of abrupt heel run that made no sense from the beginning and then just completely faded away into being a babyface again. Look, Chris Statlander is one of the best babyfaces that AEW has, not only in the women's division, but in the entire company. There's been countless WWE stars who've said that they would love to have Chris Statlander in the company should she ever become available. Her being able to be a babyface, her being able to feud with Mercedes Mone, her being able to put on banger type matches with Mercedes Mone, earning more credibility with the fan base, as well as reestablish Mercedes Mone as a heel and continuously drive home the fact that she is a really, really good heel who can cut really, really good heel promos and more importantly can work a really, really good heel style in the ring during her matches. I think you lead and you combine all of those ingredients, all of those talking points, and I think that's what has made Mercedes Moné's heel run what it is today. I think you add all those ingredients and you say, okay, this is what Mercedes Mone is as we go into 2025 or as we close out 2024. That is something in which I don't think you can overlook. And as we go into 2025, I'm very curious, A, how much longer does she hold the TBS championship? And B, when does she get to the Women's World Championship? I understand that they're building towards a Toni Storm versus Mariah May rematch from All In 2024, and I look forward to that match. I think it's going to be a great match. I think Toni Storm's going to win. But I'm also looking for Mercedes Mone to get rid of the TBS title and go after the gold that absolutely matters, and that gold is the Women's World